Chloe Madeley has taken to Instagram to defend her rugby player husband James Haskell, branding his recent remarks on the subject of rugby a genuine mistake. The daughter of Good Morning Britain's Richard Madeley, 34, took to Instagram after her beau made a list of the most capped front row forwards at the weekend, but missed off women's player Rocky Clark. He was then corrected by rugby star Simi Pam, before telling her to have a day off, which saw the sportsman come under fire for his response. Haskell went on to issue a 3-minute apology on Instagram, with his wife also rushing to defend him. In view of her 250,000 followers, Chloe replied to a fast-asking, "Thoughts on backlash to James have a day off" tweet? "The reaction is totally over the top, in my opinion," she wrote. "My thoughts are that I have a very privileged, historical and contextual view of this entire situation that not many other people have, and if they did, I think both the mistake, the original post, and their reactions to said mistake, the comments beneath the post, would make a hell of a lot more sense. This is why you want to be careful getting swept up in social media uproar when you don't know the whole story. First of all, I have watched GBR, specifically James, Alex, and Mile, since day one, invest incredible amounts of time, money and effort into promoting women's rugby to an exceptionally high standard, not just a charity appearance here and there. Not just a virtue signal. Genuine efforts to get involved and make it something bigger. They aren't messing around. They push it both front and center and behind the scenes." Chloe went on, "They hired, intentionally, female rugby players to join the team and have both a creative and editorial input. They are genuinely fighting the fight and not just talking about it, like many others are." In a news story, she continued, "Yes, the post should have said men's rugby before listing the most capped front row forward, but given that the photo used showed 2 male rugby players, I personally think that distinction was fairly obvious. And the women who wrote and posted it obviously did, too." She went on to brand the list's exclusion of women as a mistake, claiming that it was innocent. Chloe wrote, "It was a genuine mistake made by James' colleagues and friends, who also fight the good fight for women's rugby, on the front line, every day in their lives and work. So to come off stage and see those friends and colleagues being reprimanded for such an innocent mistake, obviously led him to make a dismissive comment to the critic." The next slide went on, saying have a day off obviously isn't the best way to handle the situation, probably would have been better to say, "Oh, you're right, well change it to men's rugby now," but when the person who is leading the charge has also been championed and applauded publicly by the team, and knows exactly how much they do for women's rugby, it likely felt like a very public slap in the face for, well, a very innocent mistake. Chloe ended her thoughts on the matter, and while some people are right to feel offended by a dismissive remark like, "have a day off," I can tell you now that the hundreds of DMs both James and I have had from women today are a hell of a lot worse than that. So all that upset over 4 mistakenly missing letters? And a team of people who genuinely give their 100% for the cause reprimanded? Social media at its finest, she ended her rant. Responding to the backlash his comments caused on Twitter, James wrote, "I will take my own advice and have a day off.